Hey guys, Clint Coons here, and in this video we're going to talk about why you should never use your own name when creating your limited liability company or land trust. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I have another video on naming your limited liability company, how to choose the right name, but I see this all the time, unfortunately, where I sit down with someone and they send me a copy of their existing structure or their existing entities that they've set up, and I'm looking at the names that they've chosen. And a lot of times people will use their own name in their planning, and they don't understand the rationale why you wouldn't want to do that. Well, if you recall, and if you watched a lot of the content on my channel, one of the things that I'm always hitting on is anonymity. You can't sue what you can't see. But here you are, right? Say my name's Clint Coons. I go out and I create a limited liability company, and I call it the Coons Family Limited Liability Company, or I call it the Coons Land Trust, or the Clint Coons Limited Liability Company. You've just shot your anonymity, right? Because your name is listed in the title of that company. So if I'm looking for anonymity, people are just going to pull up the company and say, hey, it's you. So that's one major problem, no anonymity when you use your own name. The second problem you have in putting your own name into an LLC or a land trust is that someone could argue in the event that you enter into a contract with someone, that they thought they were entering into a contract with you individually, that they didn't realize they were dealing with an LLC, because your name and the LLC, you have the same name. And so if you've ever heard stories about people piercing the veil of a limited liability company, well, this is a situation where someone may be able to do that because you're associated with it. Now, this isn't to say that you shouldn't ever use your name in a company, in the name of the company. There are certain circumstances, like, for example, if you're a professional, it's required under state law that your name be used in that professional entity, then it would make sense to do that. Or if you're trying to brand yourself and you want people to know about you, then maybe it makes sense to set up an entity where your name's associated in the name of that entity. But by and large, stay away from that. Do not choose names that relate back to you. And don't think, hey, I'm just going to use my initials. They'll never figure that out. Believe me, people will figure that out. I mean, for example, check this out. Let's assume I set up this LLC right here and I call it C&C LLC, all right? Clint Coons, huh? Well, C&C. Now I have this piece of property right here and I deed it into this LLC, and I think I have anonymity here because my name's not associated with it. You know, I've got that little Wyoming LLC down here owning the interest. So if I pulled title and I saw that this used to be under Clint Coons, Clint Coons individually, and now it's held by C&C LLC, you think that's going to throw me off, and I'm not going to realize this is the same person or that Clint is somehow involved with this company. And then once they figure this out and the camel's in the tent and they're sniffing around, you're not getting them out, because that person is going to notice that this Wyoming LLC here is in play. And if that Wyoming LLC owns multiple other LLCs that you've set up across the board, all pointing back here, well, game over. They're now going to know that you're associated with all of those companies. So definitely avoid using your own name whenever you're setting up your LLC. Now, if you've already used your name, what should you do? Well, I mean, the best thing to do, if you can, is to consider closing that entity down, transferring the property out, and setting up a new entity. Maybe what you could do as well is, if I had done that, made that mistake, then I would take this LLC. A simple solution would be to set up a land trust here, transfer that property into the land trust, and then set up a new LLC over here that has anonymity, and then move that land trust interest into that new LLC, and then close that entity down. That way the deed never comes out to your name individually. It goes from the LLC to a land trust that you have anonymity with, then that land trust is held by a separate limited liability company. So that would be a quick, easy solution for someone that's already done that, and just shut that down. Now, you could change the name on the LLC, but there's going to be a record of that. And so if somebody dug, they would see, hey, it used to be C&C LLC, and now it's 1411 Mercury Street LLC. And again, they can trace it back to you. All right, guys, hope you learned something about that. Never use your own name when creating limited liability companies. Take care.